Hey everybody, we're going to be working on building some bridges out of popsicle sticks and hot glue. You'll be able to find your popsicle sticks in this big bucket over here. Eventually we'll get to the point where we're cutting them, but for right now, we're going to use them whole. We're going to make two shapes very similar to this. We're going to make one just like this with the triangles here. We're going to make one just like this without the triangles. And we're going to compare to see which one's stronger. Something I want to point out to you guys, it's really important to think about making these corners perfect 90-degree angles. Things are going to be a lot stronger. Do your best. Obviously they're not going to end up being absolutely perfect, but you don't want it to be super crooked. Notice there's some types of corners here that are a little bit different. I made these double-sided. It helps give you a better spot right here to glue to, and it'll transfer the energy better, more flat right there. Some pieces are single. Some pieces are attached to the outside. Some pieces are attached underneath. The way you attach different things is going to definitely impact how strong they are. So let me show you a couple steps that you guys can work on. Alright, to make a triangle, or a square first, I'm going to go ahead and stick a little bit of glue on a corner. Take your other popsicle stick and stick it down there. Not super complicated. Make sure not to touch this glue for a few seconds at least. This hot glue is very hot. It's a low temperature one, so it won't burn you too bad, but it is not cold. Double check your corner to make sure it's nice and straight. Take another popsicle stick, stick it on the corner, and stick it down. Double check once again. Make sure everything's pretty square looking. Give that a second to dry. You can blow on it a little bit if you want to. While we're waiting for this one, I'm going to start the next one. Same idea. Corner, corner. If you work quickly, you can glue both corners, but if you get distracted, then it'll be hard and then it'll be a waste. Glue. Remember, this stuff is not free. I do have to buy it, so pretty please do your best to not waste it. Double check your corners, make sure they're nice and straight. Boom. This guy should be nice and dry. I'm going to flip him over. I'm going to glue a little chunk here. You don't need a lot of glue. You don't really want it to run past the edges. Something else to think about is to double check your ends to make sure that the pieces aren't poking out. It's going to make it harder to glue stuff to the end of it. Like if you have it up here, that's going to stick out. It's not going to work very well. So make sure it gets glued on nice and flat down there like that. Try not to have the round ends sticking out. Do the same thing over here. You don't need a ton of glue, just a little bit. You don't want it to run off the edges because then it'll stick to the table. Maybe your fingers. See, that's too far over the edge. Scoot it down. Nice. Oakley dokley. I'm going to make one side double and one side single, just to make a nice spot to glue onto. Dot, dot. Stick another on there. Dot, dot. Stick another one on there. Nice. My fingers are really used to really hot things, so watch out, you could burn your fingers if you get that glue on there. Be very careful. Boom. And boom. Alright. So now I've got two squares. These two squares you're going to be able to connect with some cross pieces. I'm going to ask you to put those cross pieces flat ways like this. In this case, flat ways like that. Might not always be the best way to build something, but we're going to be using it to test out some weights. To do that, you're going to need to take your top, or sorry, one of your sides, put some glue on the top of it here, and attach a piece like that. I recommend putting it down, making sure everything is square and straight. Let that sit there for a second. Okay. Maybe blow on it. Sometimes you have to be a little bit patient on these pieces. Alright, just do the other side. It's going to be nice and square and straight. See, it says it's going crooked, so scoot it back over before it dries. Best you can. Nice and straight. Okay. Let's put the other corner on, other side on. Boom. And boom. Put my big flat sides down. It's easier to glue onto them. I'm going to hold it nice and straight and up and down. Make sure everything's square that way and on the sides. Nice. Cool. Now we can add our type pieces. Boom. Boom. Do one at a time to make sure everything's not sinking in. This guy's a little bit short, you guys can see, so just pull it out a little bit just to make sure it's nice and square. Hold it down. Do the same thing for the back side. Cool. Down nice and strong. Now, your team's gonna need to build one just like this, with no triangles, and one just like that with triangles. These are very easy to add to the sides. You just put a piece of glue, stick it on. And with these triangles, it'll be about as long as you can make them. They don't go all the way to the corner because these are popsicle sticks, and so the hypotenuse is definitely longer than these straight sides. But we're going to see if there's a difference between how much weight this can hold and how much weight this can hold. Try to build them as close to exactly the same as possible. One with triangles and one without triangles. Your team needs to make one with and one without. And then we're going to test out their ability to hold weight. There you go. Bye.